Hey kids, Rob and I got a little carried away, and we have to give you this bonus episode because we talk a lot.
Yes, we really enjoyed the movie It, and we just had more to say than we thought. So the second half of that episode was that we were just going to talk about other creepy clowns that are in movies and TV and other media. So this is the bonus episode.
Welcome to 22 point... I don't know.
Well, okay, so I just want to start out with, why do you think clowns are so scary?
I don't know. And
I haven't figured it out.
It's not like...
I understand why they can be creepy, but it hasn't seeped into me with that type of fear. I just, like, where does it come from?
It's only when you're in that specific controlled environment where it's like, they're supposed to be scary. But if I just go to the circus, they're not scary.
Yeah.
I'm not tripping about a clown. I don't know. And half of them aren't scary to me. I think some of them are more for laughs because even though they're killing people, it's not to be taken seriously. But some of them are scary, and then some of them they try to be taken seriously. So it's just whether or not you're supposed to be in that space. I can't really speak to that. I don't have what is it called? Chlorophobia.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Don't ask me to pronounce it, but no, it sounds similar to that.
Chlorophobia.
I know. I can see. I think it really depends on the makeup, maybe, of how it's styled on your face. I don't think there's one way to be a clown and have the clown makeup, but I think it comes to the way it's painted on your face that gives off this sort of creepy vibe. I mean, even when you're a child, Santa Claus scares you, and it's just a man with a beard. So I mean, you just kind of wonder what these triggers are, but maybe things are just not meant to be that happy. There's something sinister for people who are just that jolly, I guess. But yeah, I haven't really been afraid of clowns that much, but given some of the movies and TV stuff that I want to bring up with you, we'll give you an example of just how makeup in general will just turn a clown face to a horrible one. And it's funny too, because it's like you'll look at a group like Insane Clown Posse. I don't think any of those clown makeups are scary at all. I've seen way creepier makeups than that, and that group was sort of meant to give you more of this like non-childish vibe when it came to their clown makeup. So
well, I think that they are going in that direction though. And this is something that, to go back to It, this is something that they did with the makeup that was much better on Bill Skarsgård. It didn't look necessarily like makeup. It just looked like that was his skin tone.
Okay.
And then he had
just the cracks in his forehead.
Yeah, but it's like on Tim Curry, it's clearly thick white makeup on his face.
The literal plastic nose on him and everything.
So with Bill, it was like, I mean, even that line over his eyes, I think that, the Insane Clown Posse, they kind of had makeup more like that, or I feel like there's some sort of Latin gang that likes to dress up as clowns too. Okay. And they have similar makeup, and they're they're kind of terrifying. Yeah. When they dress like that. So yeah, good point. Yeah. Makeup makes the difference.
So I'm sure you guys listening today, you've all got in your head a list of movies that has clowns in it or is about clowns. Let's see if me and Nate can tackle on those that you remember and maybe give you some new ones you may not know about. So just kind of recall like a movie that you either liked or disliked or thought was scary with clowns in it.
One that I disliked, and it was like a Scream ripoff, was straight to video The Clown at Midnight, starring Tatyana Ali.
Okay.
She was the only big name in that movie. And it was just like, it was almost like Scream.
Okay.
Where this girl's mother is murdered, and then years later she comes back to this opera house where her mother was famous, and then they all get locked in and all her friends get killed. Tatyana Ali is the second to go, and so stupid. It's just not a good movie, but the killer is dressed like a clown, and I think it has something to do with the opera, and it's just not great. The makeup is okay. It's not very memorable, but yeah, just one of those silly things.
Was that a TV movie?
Nope, it was a direct-to-video, R-rated. I don't remember much else about it, but I remember it came out shortly after Scream, and the only reason I wanted to see it is because Tatyana Ali was in it.
Yeah.
And she was still on Fresh Prince at the time, but it was not a great thing.
So I am picturing the box, and to be honest with you, I may have seen this. But as you talk about it, more and more memories come back. I may have seen this, but I just don't remember it at all.
I don't even think the clown is on the video box.
Yeah.
On the front. But I think it's like he's bald. He's just got a white face. He doesn't speak. At the end, it turns out to be some old man.
Yeah.
Who was in love with her mother, and that's why he killed her. And
Jesus. They went deep with the clowns.
Yeah, and then her father, I think, comes back too, and he, for some reason, he was dressed as the clown, but he's like trying to save her. And then the guy who likes the girl, he dresses up as the clown at one point for I don't know why, and that's like a false red herring scare where they're like, "Oh, it's him," but he's like, "No, I'm just dressing up."
They had a character named Mr. Carruthers. That's such a Scooby-Doo name.
Probably him. It's probably him.
It was Christopher Lee. Or, I'm sorry, not Lee, Plummer. It was Christopher Plummer, if you know who that is. Oh, nice.
I'm pretty sure he was the one that ended up being the killer, but I don't remember. That's not even what it looked like.
No, yeah.
It was whack.
Yeah.
So, enough time spent on that.
Okay. This is the box I remember. Okay. Yeah, I'll post this on YouTube. Yes, I remember this cover. James Duval. Oh, yes, I remember him. Okay, so one of my favorites, of course, I'm going to bring up 1988 Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love it. So here's the thing. As I was doing research for this episode, I noticed that they try and tackle different types of clowns. This one in particular are aliens.
Yeah.
And their whole gimmick, their theme, the way that they kill, capture, eat, all has a clown aesthetic to it.
Or like a circus.
Yes, exactly. I mean, their spaceship was literally a tent. And I mean, I don't know how creative you can really get with that.
They're really creative.
I loved the fact that they managed to pull out an entire species based on clowns like that. I mean, just with your popcorn guns growing up into these little mini clowns and cotton candy cocoon. I just loved the humor and the creativity of this movie.
Very outlandish.
Their like little language that they had too was actually pretty funny. The heroes of this movie, Jesus Lord, these characters were so bad. But other than that, I thought this movie was really fun, and I always turn to it ever so, and I always try and recommend it to people who I find out that like cheesy, campy stuff. I always say Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They know exactly what they're doing, and they just go full force with it.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be making a TV series out of it. I haven't heard much news about it lately, but they are talking about continuing it with. I know,
having an aneurysm over here.
I really like Killer Clowns.
Yeah, I didn't know they made a sequel.
Did they really?
Maybe not. I didn't even click on it, but I was like, it said Killer Clowns 2 as I was searching. I was like, did they make another one?
That could be. So if you looked on IMDb, sometimes they'll put stuff in pre-production of stuff that may or may not get made.
To be determined.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the ones that I really like.
Yesterday when I was just at work, kicking it, literally, I was going back through my memories of being a kid and reading. And I thought of Bruce Cavil. Is that a name that you're familiar with? Like,
I know he writes books.
Fried My Brain.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think I read that one too. Yeah. No, I'm familiar.
So he had a collection of anthologies. It was like Bruce Cavil's Book of Monsters, Book of Aliens, and he would always write the longish short story at the beginning, and then it would be a bunch of different authors. In his Book of Nightmares was probably my favorite collection because he gives R.L. Stine such a run for his money. You can read this stuff as an adult, and it is so well written.
It's still good,
and it's kind of terrifying, and the twists are woo.
Yeah.
So there's a story called Give a Puppet a Hand. Now, it's a puppet, but it's like this little gesture puppet. Okay. I was going to ask you a question about like clowns versus gestures.
Okay.
But this little gesture puppet is really weird.
Yeah.
And kind of creepy. And like this boy's walking home and he sees this homeless man who just looks dead. And he has this little puppet. And the puppet's like, haha, hey, talking to him and talking shit to him. And it's like, you just look at this old man, he's not talking. And the little boy's like, I want that puppet. Give it to me. And suddenly it's on his hand. And the old man is gone.
What?
And he can't get it off. He cannot get it off, and it's just talking shit, getting him in trouble.
Haunted mask all over again.
And then at the end of the story, he's in class, and the puppet's just talking shit. And the teacher's like, give me that.
Gross.
And then
gross.
It's stuck on the teacher's hand.
Gross.
And then she ends up in like an insane asylum.
I had a different ending in my head. Oh my God.
So, I mean, but it's like, now as an adult, I'm thinking like, oh my God, that old man went through his entire life with that thing stuck on his hand, and it's like he's homeless. Nobody wants to be around him.
So the secret was that you needed somebody to like want it.
Yes.
And take, okay, I see.
And then it's like you can't get it off. And that little puppet was just like,
that's interesting.
So I thought about that. I'm like, oh God, that's probably one of the worst ones. It's so simple and kind of innocent, but it's like, that'll ruin your fucking life.
And they didn't have a picture of it on the cover, did they?
In the book, they did.
Oh, okay.
So each story would have like one little illustrated page.
Okay.
And that little puppet, you know, like had this long mouth all the way around. Like all the way around.
I wonder what you would have come up with if they didn't provide a picture. That would have been...
I mean, I think they do describe it, but yeah, it's like it's well drawn. So
that's cool.
You know,
no, I haven't read that one.
It was good. I recommend that book overall. All those stories are really good, and you know that one. It was just they have good twist. Pretty much always unhappy.
So I actually ended up watching Clown House for the first time.
Never heard.
This was 1989. So this one, there's no supernatural, there's no aliens, no demons, no nothing. This is mental patients who escape from a hospital. They kill 3 clowns that were in a traveling circus and dress up as them.
Poor guys.
So this movie has Sam Rockwell, who I think this was his first major role.
Oh, okay.
And it involves him with 2 younger brothers, and they go to see the circus. I believe the parents went away for either the evening or the weekend. These brothers have like sort of that sibling rivalry stage where they're picking on each other and just making fun of each other and stuff like that. But they still, you know, they know they're brothers. They go to the circus. One of them has a fear of clowns anyway, but he's afraid of everything. And he looks one dead in the eye before the clown goes on stage. This isn't one of the mental patients, but it just kind of showed where his fear was. And it creeps him out. The clown tries to get him to participate into the act, and he was just like, no, I'm not doing it. And he ends up running away, and it really embarrassed him, blah, 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 blah. Then the mental patients come in, and they kill them. And then for some reason, they decide to go to their house. I don't know what attracted them to this specific house, but the whole rest of the movie is just this home invasion of them sneaking around, fucking around with them, and then eventually making into the house and just kind of sneaking around and just doing all of this like fun little stuff with them. But then shit does hit the fan and they attack one another, and you know, they just kind of go through it. These clowns do not hold back. They run after you. They don't do that slow walk they do in the 80s. Like, they're running after you, and it kind of takes a while for the brothers to get hint of these clowns being around, because it's usually the little brother that does it. And something that I thought that was really creepy is that the way that I guess it was the tone of the movie. Like, these clowns didn't speak, and there was no rhyme or reason for it. And I think just that randomness made it even creepier, because it could happen to anyone, you know?
Yeah.
And when it ended, you know, it just ended it, and that was it. It was just a story. Shit happens, you know? And I just thought that was kind of creepy. Overall, it was okay, but just for the sake of, you know, this type of clown where it's just somebody in a clown suit going crazy, that, you know, yeah, they're out there.
Okay. Yeah.
And what did you think of Clown?
That's the other one I was going to bring up right now. So I was reluctant to watch it because I'm not like a big fan of clowns. And it's like, they're not that scary to me, but this one was excellent. I even tried to look up, I was like, is this actual mythology? And I couldn't really find anything, but Clown, if you guys don't know, so I did find out this film, it was produced by Eli Roth.
Yes.
And apparently there was like a mock trailer that the creators made. And they put on it from the I don't know, master of horror, Eli Roth. But he had nothing to do with it. And when he saw that, he was like, damn, y'all got some balls. This is interesting. All right, let's see what you can do.
Oh, so this was sort of like a fan-made movie made into... Okay.
Yeah, so after that, he helped them like make the whole movie. And I was like, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
I really respect that. I think that was really cool of him. And they did a great job of executing it. This is beyond the recent remake of It.
Yes.
Now it deals with children. It is extremely violent and graphic. So
and this is the demon aspect of clowns. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are aliens, there's humans, and this one
Yeah.
is demons.
It's really creative because, so this father, there's supposed to be a clown coming to his kid's birthday and the clown cancels. So he's at some house, I think that was foreclosed on. Or
yeah, because he was a realtor. He was a realtor and he had an open house.
And he randomly finds this clown costume and he's like, all right, let me just put this. And he shows up and saves the day. But then he can't get the costume off, and he slowly starts to transform into something called a cloyne. And he finds out that it's like this demonic monster. And I mean, it's actually really similar to It, because they talk about how when It only emerges every 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently this thing only comes out 4 or 5 months out of the year, and it's during the winter. It'll lure children into the woods, and it'll eat one child each month. So that's what you need to do to break the curse. It has to eat 5 children, and then the person will stop being a cloyne.
Yeah.
But it was excellent. Really good visual effects, great story.
It just looked painful watching this father have to endure walking around with this clown, which wasn't even an attractive clown suit to begin with. I mean,
No.
It was just dirty and messy. The wig alone was just disturbing.
One day it's like, fine, we'll do this for the party, but after that, it was
But
bad.
just think Eli Roth, right? He's known for bringing in the disgusting stuff. Now take his name and attach it to a man who is literally trying to peel off this costume from his skin. The nose part alone was disgusting to watch.
Terrible.
Just watching him desperately try and get this off. And spoiler alert, it doesn't come off.
He does get it off, but it grows back.
Just during that whole process of him trying to remove it, just think
like
of
taking
the
off your
pain.
actual nose.
Yeah, just think of the pain that it endured. If you guys watch this, you're in for like a heavy treat when it comes to like pain and gore. It is just disgusting.
It was a great progression of the story of him trying to fight it, and
So one scene that I will just say that was a highlight, it was when they were at that sort of fun house. And that, in the clown. So not only is the clown suit embedded in his body, obviously his mind starts to change too. And he gets this hunger for these kids. So he's like hanging out.
Possessed by the demon.
Yeah. And those playpens with the little tubes you can travel through. And he's just chilling in one of them, just in the dark. Creepy. So yeah, so I enjoyed this one,
violent.
and I think this is currently on Netflix. So I'm gonna go on record and say that I will recommend watching this if you want something different as far as a clown movie. It's pretty good.
Yes. Another one that sticks out in my mind, I was a little kid when I saw it. It was an episode of Tales from the Crypt, and it was called Strung Along. And I didn't know this until right now, but the older puppeteer who's married to the younger woman, he was in Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, look. He had such creepy eyes in that movie. It looked like they were painted on in Singing in the Rain. But yes, so this was a puppet again, but it's a little clown puppet. And he's like, pretty sweet throughout. But I remember the sequence where Zach Galligan takes the puppet, and he's also a puppeteer, and he makes it more robotic, and it's like stabbing her to death. And that makes him have a heart attack. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was sort of like this, this old school versus new school puppeteering, and so there was just this like rivalry.
Yeah.
And then he made it look like his wife was dying, and so it caused him to have a heart attack. Because I guess he was just on the brink anyway, so they knew it would drive him over.
So, but the
No, that was a good
actual
one. I remember
puppet
that.
came and like fucked them up.
Yeah, no, I remember that one.
He was creepy.
Okay, so no, I'll go from there. Okay, Afraid of the Dark. I got 2 clowns. There's Zebo.
Remember Zebo?
And then there's the Crimson Clown.
Oh, I do remember that
The
name
one
too.
that would attack you when you're being a bad child. So they went to so there was 2 brothers, and one of them was all bad, and they needed to buy a present for their mom. The little boy, the bad one, took the money, bought a video game, Zebo the Clown, the video game. And then the brother made up this story about, you know what happens when you're a bad kid. It's kind of like the Krampus thing. He's like, the Crimson Clown will get you. And so the whole rest of the episode is this Crimson Clown just taunting him and trapping him and just giving him all this illusions like, you've been very bad. You know what happens when you're bad. Oh my God, it was so scary. But yeah, no, that was a really good episode. You should watch that, Nate. You'd like that episode.
I do remember the Crimson Clown, but I can't picture him. I can picture Zebo, and Zebo wasn't even actually seen. It was more just the puppet that you see, but you don't. It's
there was
alluded
one.
to.
There was one scene when he was going past the mirrors, because he's like, "What do you think I am, some kind of clown?" And then the next one was actually him, and he's smoking a cigar. That's probably the only time you see him move. But other than that, yeah, you only see the puppet. But the innuendos, the suggestion was cool, like all the cigar smoke, and oh my God, that balloon under the door, I thought was brilliant.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so he locked himself in his room and he couldn't get in. So then he blew a balloon under the door, and then it rose up, and he was like, "Give it back!" And then it blew up.
That's
and then
right.
I was like, "That was a good scene."
That was good.
Yeah, so I like that one. Okay, so I want to bring up one thing. And I asked you if you had seen this earlier. It was Amusement.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so Amusement is this anthology, but they all connect in some way with the lead actresses in the movie. And one of the stories had to deal with a babysitting job, and it's coming from inside the house type of deal, and it was a clown. The look of this clown is probably one of the scariest clown makeups I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Now, this movie isn't all about clowns, but it sort of takes front and center when it comes to the cover art.
Story.
Yeah, from the cover art, and just the way the story is told is so good. It is so good. And
I loved that moment. I mean, as an audience member, we all know something's up with the clown.
Yes.
We know that something's going to happen. We know that he's going to get up and move.
The
But
execution.
that moment where she's talking to the mom on the phone, she's like, that clown is just, it's kind of creepy. And she's like, which one? The big one, the life-size
Sitting in the
one.
rocking chair, yeah.
What? She's like, we don't have a life-size clown. And it was just like...
And you don't know if he can hear her on the phone, but that's when he decides to come alive and
That's when he
just look
starts
at her
moving.
and starts getting up. And I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Oh my God. So they did that exact same thing in this horrible, horrible movie called Clowntergeist. Yeah, It's so stupid. So the beginning scene, though, is this girl who has a fear of clowns is attacked in her home. So she goes to her uncle's house and she stays there because she can't stay home. And the whole gimmick is that this clown will attack you in your dreams or whatever, and then he'll leave a balloon, and the balloon will tell you the exact date and time you're gonna die. So she gets this and she runs off to her uncle's house. So she's there, and the uncle's like, okay, the key's under the mat, come in, I'm not gonna be home yet, I'll see you later. So she calls and she's like, okay, the power's out, help me get it on. She turns the power on, and then she goes upstairs and she sees this clown statue just standing in the middle of like his study or something. So she calls him again and she's like, do you mind if I put a blanket or move this clown out of the way because I don't like it? And he's like, what clown? He's like, this clown you've got in your office is just standing there. He immediately is like, get the fuck out of the house right now, I'm calling the cops. And she's like, why? What are you talking about? We don't have a clown. And then the clown just rushes at her, and I'm just like, stop it. And then the rest of the movie was nothing like that. It just was a total disappointment. But yeah, those type of scenes are good. I don't know anybody who has clowns in their home. Get rid of them, because if I see one, I'm destroying it, and I'm not even gonna pay for it. You shouldn't have them in your house. That's disturbing.
Yeah, I don't even know any kids who like that.
Thank
Like,
you.
why would you want a collection of? I don't even know who wants like a collection of dolls. It's like Barbies is one thing, but it's like just dolls just sitting there. It's like that's creepy. We don't need it.
Well, we do know one kid who likes clowns.
Who?
A clown doll in his house. The little kid from Poltergeist.
Oh, he doesn't. He hates that clown. Yeah, I didn't see the remake, but I remember seeing the picture. I'm like, it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
But the original clown, it looked like a clown. And then when it started acting up, it was scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a
I
good
think that's
moment.
one of the most iconic ones that most people know about is that one from that movie.
Yeah. The only other clowns that came to mind is, and I haven't seen the new season of American Horror Story, but Twisty.
Yes, Twisty is a really good
Twisty
example.
was very scary. That first introduction of him not speaking and just stabbing that guy. It was terrible.
Well, just the way he charges at him too.
Yeah.
You know, he's not one of those silent killers where they just walk up and stab you. He charges. He doesn't care. He's got the
scary.
arms out and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, his
that's a
whole
good
his
one.
whole backstory, what happened to him, it was creepy.
Yes.
That was the only part really of American Horror Story that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
A freak show.
A freak show. Yeah.
So, clown prank videos.
Oh my god,
It's
I
like
watched
they go
a
in and
couple
out.
of them, but
Like a few years ago, they were really popular, or 2 years ago. The ones where people like walk into a parking structure and then they like hit whatever it is. It's like
yeah,
a
they're
watermelon.
beating on something and they're
and
pretending
then, like,
to kill.
the head just explodes and people run. So I saw one. I think it was released in conjunction with it. This clown pops out, and these two women are walking with this toddler. When the clown jumps out at them and kind of starts to chase them, the two women bolt, and they forget
They
the kid.
do not.
And they both turn around, and the one who's farthest away is like, and the one who's closer was like, and she goes back, and the clown is stopped, and I think he's probably just like,
I know. How dare
"You're a
you?
terrible parent."
I know.
But yeah, she goes back and she grabs the kid and keeps running, but it's like, that's terrible.
That is really
Can't
bad.
believe it.
Your initial reaction.
Yeah. So I mean, some of them, I mean, it's like, it's terrible, but they are, I've never seen some of those videos. I'm like, man, what if you meet that person and they're not scared of you? They're going to punch you in the face.
Well, I mean, yeah, that does happen. I've seen a couple of videos like that. I mean, it's always a black dude too who just dares to like, I'll challenge you and I'll just punch the crap out of you, and they get hit.
A lot of these, they're not American.
Yeah.
They take place somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know what language it is. I just remember the one that really got to me where the guy's pumping gas and he walks up to the car and he doesn't say anything, and he's like saying, "Who are you? What do you want?"
Yeah.
And he like moves, and the clown like moves with him, and he's like, it's
I
unnerving.
can't with that. I mean, but just that stuff that's happening on the East Coast right now, where people are just patrolling the streets, just looking for people to wave at as cars go by. Like, that is just too much for me. I can't with that.
It's so weird.
But some honorable mentions. So, do you remember the clown doctors from Peewees Big Adventure? Do you remember when he's having a dream about his bike being like worked on, and all those clowns just like running around like carrying bike parts? You don't remember that? You have to look up a picture of them. They are so creepy looking, and they don't speak, but they're just like all happy and jolly. But that's a good example of the makeup being done so well that you just can't help but look at them and think creepy.
I don't remember. I remember the clown aspect from that movie because his bike gets stolen, and then there's like this weird clown
Yeah.
that doesn't move.
He has a couple of nightmares in the movie, and one of them involved like clowns just working on it, and they've got all this hospital gear on it and stuff.
Oh, another one. Maybe you were already going to mention it, but Drive Through.
Yes.
I haven't seen it, but it's creepy. It's very creepy looking.
I did watch the movie when it first came out, and then I just watched like a snippet on YouTube where it had like a bunch of, like all the kills in a row. This clown took like the headpiece of the fast food place that they were at, put it on his head, and was talking to the speakers. But his knife, his weapon of choice, was this big, giant, fat machete looking thing that looked like it was a cross between an axe or something. This thing was tough. Like, it would run. It was super fast, super tough. He can throw you like miles.
So was it an actual person, or was it?
I think it was a ghost.
I thought it was. Yeah, it was like some sort of weird thing that morphed from.
Yeah. But Langton Meester was in it.
I think isn't Gary Dourdan in it too?
Yeah, I believe so. They actually had some stars in there, but yeah, like this clown did not hold back. I mean, it would just attack you in such the most messed up ways. But that's a Think of the clowns from Peewees Big Adventure.
I sure don't remember.
Oh
them.
my god, yeah. Those clowns are creepy. Oh,
Don't
so creepy.
remember at all.
And then there's the Violator from Spawn, John Leguizamo.
Yeah,
He was a really cool clown.
That's taking it back to comics. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, that was a really interesting character, especially at that time in comic book history. I don't think there was anything like that.
But he was just a sleazeball. I mean, he was very sexist and, like disgusting. He had the big gut and everything. Like, he played that.
I think that was probably like one of the most satisfying adaptations for fans because it looked exactly like the comic book interpretation. And I think John Leguizamo killed it.
He did kill it.
Like, you wouldn't know it's him if you didn't know him.
For that movie, though, oh God, if you watch it again, dated. Like, there is no way this movie pulls off. That's why I'm glad. Well, Todd McFarlane did announce he was going to do it again, and I'm so glad. This is another example of a movie that needs to be redone because they didn't even touch the surface of what those comics are like. And but I really enjoyed the Violator. I don't know if he was constantly just squatting to be short or if it was like a camera angle trick they did, but like it always looked at like he was just totally like squatting the whole time. He couldn't even like stand up straight at all.
He's shorter.
Yeah, that could be.
Because Michael J. White is probably really tall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe just next to each other it worked out.
No, that could be. Did you like the Rob Zombie movies with Captain Spaulding? Nope. Yeah.
Sure didn't.
So he's another popular clown that people enjoy watching too.
Yeah. I can see his face in my head, but I didn't watch him. I didn't get into it.
Yeah. He was at that horror convention.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, that I went to. I didn't speak to him or anything, but yeah, he was there.
That's cool.
But yeah, there are other clown stuff that are sort of more broad, but kind of part of the cast. Like Rob Zombie did this movie called 31, which was sort of like in the vein of like Running Man. Have you seen Running Man? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Those people who were put into like that game show or whatever.
Yes, that's
Stephen
right.
King did that. Did you know that? Yeah, that's a Stephen King movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not like is it adapted from?
Or
is it just he wrote it originally?
I want to say it's adapted, but I can't be too positive with that.
Okay.
But yeah, so 31 is they take a bunch of carnies, they like capture them and put them in this like big giant like warehouse or wherever they were, and they had to survive the night. And they were against like 10 to 13 serial killers, crazy psychos. And one of them that they were saving for last was this guy who took on the clown motif. And yeah, it was messed up. But, these normal people had to really dig deep if they wanted to survive and start killing for themselves, And it was all done in a game show. Malcolm McDowell was in it, playing like the headmaster host or whatever. And yeah, it was pretty wacky, but Rob Zombie did that. And yeah, that's another like crazy clown killer that people may know about. But one that I did not watch was Killjoy. I couldn't do it.
I didn't watch it.
Oh my god, that movie looks so cheesy.
I think it's supposed to be cheesy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they know. I'm pretty sure.
Did you know they came out with 3 sequels? I had no idea they came out with so many movies afterwards.
Yeah. I don't think that it was the same actor each time. Because, sometimes people, it's like, this is my character, but I'm pretty sure the original actor didn't come back for the others. I think he was only in the first one as Killjoy.
But you had a question about gestures and clowns. What was your thing? Just the difference?
Well, what do you think is scarier?
So I actually think clowns are scarier, to be honest. It's not like that I think gestures are not creepy at all, but the big difference, in my opinion, I don't normally see gestures with the makeup. I know they're known for that a little bit, but I don't see them with makeup. I just see them in the outfit.
Okay.
And they have the little toys and everything kind of going around. I see more clowns with more creepier makeup than thus, but they're also very ridiculed. They're always put down a peg. So I never
clowns, though.
Kind of, I don't know. I just always see a gesture just being like a stepping stone on somebody's like foothill of a king or whatever. So I've never gotten a gesture creepy vibe from them, but yeah.
I think they're scary.
Yeah.
just the hat, it's sort of like almost like tentacles coming off their head, and Lately I see them with that makeup where it's like they have that weird eye makeup.
No. I totally get it. I can picture it.
They always look pissed off. They do have things.
But just like, like in the tarot cards, don't they have a gesture card where they're looking all like kind of creepy, I think? I don't know.
Maybe in some set.
Yeah.
Like in the traditional one?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, jesters. They're creepy.
So, has any of these clown movies scared you at all? Like, were they pretty scary, or were they mostly cheesy?
Most of them are cheesy.
Do you think? I mean, the demon clown movie that we watched,
that scares me.
That was scary.
That's why it's effective if it's like a demon, like alien clowns. Yeah,
that was
people who dress up as
whatever.
clowns and kill people. Like the brief clown cameo in Cabin in the Woods. It's funny.
Okay.
He's just funny.
But it is a trope, and I like
trope.
that it was included in the whole monster of things because I wonder if there's still an audience for it though. Like, do you think that clown movies now are effective? I mean, a while back I brought up that trailer to that clown, faux documentary.
I think that there's still an audience, and they're gonna. I mean, especially now that it is out, I'm sure we're gonna see some things pop up on Netflix.
We are gonna see.
There's always
that
stuff.
Yeah,
5 knockoffs.
No,
it's like, we gotta cash in and make our $5.
No, I get it.
So,
well, just remember when you do that, folks. Okay, it's not the clown that made this movie amazing. So just think about it. Okay, we don't need these clown movies because that is not what made this movie great.
But if you want to express yourself in that way, have fun.
Have fun.
The demon clowns are what scare me.
Okay.
It scares me because it's not a clown.
Yeah,
it looks like a clown in the way that it's portrayed in the recent movie. It's very scary and very effective, but there's other things going on. Cloyne. it's a creature.
Yeah,
and you see this slow transformation. The reveal is worth it, man.
Yeah.
So those scare me, but guys just in clown outfits. I mean, if I see someone in a clown outfit with a knife, they're gonna kick to the face. I'm not gonna laugh at them. I'm gonna be scared if it really happens. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But yeah, just watching a movie, they don't really scare me.
Okay. Yeah, at the end of the day, I've seen more cheesy clown movies than scary ones. There are moments that they have, but I don't know if it's because they're clowns. I just think that the execution of just creeping up on people and attacking them, that's what creeps me out. Just taking on the whole clown effect thing, it could go either way. I just would like to see more on the creepy side. You can joke maybe a little if you want to take on the persona of a clown, but I don't need you to be wisecracking and all that stuff. Just be creepy. Just be, monstrous. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hard when they fall into that trap of I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna have this one liner. Honk honk.
Yeah.
They can't help it.
Yeah.
And going back to it again, but at least, I mean, in that first scene where we see him, he still has a couple lines, but for the most part, in that first scene, it's like he's trying to be jolly, but also he's not a clown. He's a hungry, evil demon, and he wants to eat this little boy. So it's like you kind of see him sort of slip a couple times.
Yeah.
But he has this conversation where he's like, oh, I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown. And it's
we're not strangers, and we can be friends.
But they do it really well. It's creepy. He's like a pedophile, almost.
Yeah.
And in other clown movies, they just say really dumb shit. So it was done right. You can do it.
Yeah.
But probably just don't try to make a bunch of clown movies.
Yeah.
It's not really needed.
Yeah, I don't think so. So this episode is so bonus that we even have a bonus bitch really.
Yes.
Brought to us by The Fool.
So it comes from The Clown at Midnight. Or A Clown at Midnight, whatever the fuck it was called.
A Clown at Midnight.
So stupid. So Tatyana Ali, this is after she's already been scared by Homegirl's wannabe boyfriend who was dressed up as a clown for no reason. And so she runs into the actual clown. She's like, it's you again. But then she quickly is like, it's not him. She can tell. And she runs off by herself into the theater, and he chases her. And then he goes behind this wall because it's in the theater.
Yes.
And she has this, I don't know why she suddenly has this long stake. What what are they called? Like Amazon's had them.
Like
spear.
spears,
She has
yeah.
a spear, and she suddenly like just randomly stabs it, and he goes, and you think he's dead, but it's like, girl,
Come on now.
you know he's not.
Come on now.
You know he's not. And also, it's like, if you stab something solid, you can kind of feel it. So you know you just poked that through some paper and machete. Not machete, paper mache. And then she, like, I don't know why she walks away from it, and she backs up to the wall, and then she gets one from the back, because he's still back there, but she backs up against another wall he had walked around, and he gets her.
What?
Bitch! What happened to your career? Bitch, really? It was stupid. It's like, okay, maybe I stabbed him. Let me peek around this corner. No, let me like back up against this wall, stab him, and then run back the other way. Maybe you stabbed him, maybe you didn't. If you don't want to check, but I don't know why. It was just such a stupid kill.
So it's one of these things where, again, these good people, they just don't have it in them to kill anything, even if it's to save their own lives. They only want to hurt them so they can get away. But if you have the balls to hurt something, make sure it's hurt. Make sure it's down. You don't want to continuously run. You don't want a head start. Fuck head start. Why do people want head starts? No, I want you to stop chasing me. So I'm going to stab you to make sure you are down. That's so annoying. And I told you about my theory about why good people do that, but it's just one of those things of survival mode. You need, one of you have got to go if it's that serious, you know? So
Yeah.
bitch, really.
It was just stupid.
All right, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed our enhanced extended bonus of clowns and fear in movies and entertainment. Definitely comment on what you guys thought of the episode, and we look forward to the rest of October, as we'll have so many different things that we're going to talk about throughout the month leading up to Halloween. We got some special treats that we are planning to do as well, so looking forward to it.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? We sing on this show sometimes.
Yes, we do.
So thanks, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next week on Bitch I Ain't Scared.